right, we're going to do a quick market review for just the whole week. Just take the euro so we can take some examples here of trade setups, the grids, and how things work, just to try to give you a quick recap. Again, we don't want to go across 22 currency pairs, but I think you'll get the concepts here, and I'll put in some different lines and some basics, and just try to teach a little bit to get everybody up to speed. If you're new to the grids or you're looking at ideas of how does this work, what do we do? Okay, a couple things we consider obviously are these sessions, right? So this is the Tokyo session box, the orange box, or peach colored, whatever, salmon red. Then you have the gray is London, right? And then this blue box is the New York session. So you really have to watch the timing, okay? And you want to watch trend lines, and a couple things to watch are the average daily range, right? Did it move? Did it make this really big move? And then is it also close to a grid? Okay, so those are just a couple of things that you might want to watch. So here, Sunday night, it opens up and it comes down and it bounces off a grid and bounces off a grid. Now these are hard because when it starts out and it comes to a grid, one idea is you can just buy it and just take a few pips off, and then if it breaks down, it usually comes back and retests. You know what I mean? Like look here. I mean, right here is a perfect example. So price comes down, it bounces off the grid. And then look how it can't go much higher. And then look at this, 1, 2, 3, almost 4 candles are engulfed by this big red candle. Okay, so that means, man, there and you see these 2 wicks up here. That is a major reversal, and it's at the high of Tokyo over here. So it's just like, no, you're not going higher. Pushed it down. They tried again. No, you're not. Pushed it back. And then it opened, and then just everybody jumps on. Well, here's a nice retest of a gray. So there, it's like, yes, it did go higher, but look how it's rejected. So when it comes down, look, it touched it once, and it touched it twice. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, so look at that. Once, 2 times it came back to that grid initially, and then it did a little bit of a swing, and then it drops. Well, then you got to watch the sessions open in the news, and again, now look at how price behaved here on this red. It supported it. It couldn't go much higher, and then it breaks, and then all of a sudden, look at that close. Look at this. Just to the pip, it comes back in, and it allows you to get in one more time, and down it goes right there beautifully. Okay, so there's a great, and where does it go? Look at right down to the next grid, and then then you're pretty much done, because then look what happens for the day. Yes, it did come back up to, again, this is a red, right? So yeah, it did, but look, it doesn't have the gas to go back down again. So this late in the day, I wouldn't do it. It's just not worth doing it, because it's just not going to move too much. Sure enough, it did, and it chops. Now, okay, now next day, let's look at Tuesday. Tuesday opens up at a grid. That's always dangerous because it's just trying to find a sense of direction. Sure enough, breaks above, comes back, struggle, tries to go higher, it can't, breaks below. Now, this isn't bad. There's not a lot of room, but look, it breaks below, first time, comes back, and you have to take profit at this first area. Sure enough, couldn't break it lower, pushes it above. And then this is tough again. London closed, and it's chopping around. Now, I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, this might have been the FOMC meeting, or Bernanke spoke or something, and that they said something about the FOMC meeting minutes said there was no quantitative easing, and then, who's going to catch this? I don't know. I saw it happen, but I'm not trading this junk, right? Just took off. Anyway, so then let's see. This is Wednesday, and so opens up at a black, and look at support, good, and it breaks, and you're looking for a retest. Well, it depends on when you trade. Look what happens. Trend is down, and it does a nice retest right up to this black grid, 3211, and there's your sell. Beautiful. Where does it go? Chops to the next grid. And there's some breaking and retesting and breaking and retesting, and then falls, chops, falls. Here's a retest right there. That's not bad. Trend is down, closes below a grid, touches it, goes right to the next grid. And again, now it comes back up on a downtrend. You could sell there, and it goes to the grid, but then look, it's after the London, and then it's just a mess. and then there's Aussie, and New Zealand and Australia. Then Tokyo opens, and now it's trying to find a sense of direction. Now I saw this the other day, and I'm tempted to draw this. I just want to see what happens. Sure enough, look at that. If you draw trend lines, look at that. See, so it sets up a low, comes up, comes down, chops long, and has kind of a pivot low. So you wonder, here, here, the London, it does a pop. But look what happens. When it closed, it came right up to the pivot. So it's off this pivot low and this pivot low. It swung right up within a couple of pips before it drops. So trend lines are very powerful. Okay, so it's good to do horizontal lines and the grids. So I like to reference the grids, but I also like to do this. I like to put solid horizontal lines and watch for like this. Look at it, touches it, touches it, touches it, can't get above. Now it didn't quite get to there. And then if you draw another line, look at the bottoms. Look at here, it closes, punches up, breaks, and there, look at that, to the pip. See, and it's a grid. So price respected a grid and just the actual price line, and you put those two together, you can trade off trend lines, horizontal lines, the grids, and that's the synergy. Look at, so it gave you one option there, and if you miss it and this broke down, came back up pretty close to the grid, I really encourage newer traders, don't get too picky on the grid. Just get it close and just get in. Remember that? Don't wait for just perfect entries. Give yourself bigger stops and bigger entries. We just want you to get some experience, right? So look what it does. Bam, it drops, drops, drops. And then now let's see, that's a black and another black. And so it breaks down, gets a little bit above, breaks down, comes back up. See, and then it fails. Again, you get it on the London close, and look at this. Chop, chop, chop. Nothing going on. And then here we are Friday. Well, we know coming into the news, this is a good oscillating time. Look at that. It's just in a band. Let me draw a line here for you. My gosh, right? So if it gets to these bottoms, you buy it. Goes to the tops, take profit, sell it. Chops, goes to the bottom, buy it. Shut down the sell, buy it. Goes to the top, sell it, take profit. And then it pops up to this grid, then it comes back down again. So then we get into the news, and I've already got a video out there on how to trade the news. And look at this, 3072. Look at how the news pops, came right back, bounced. Let's see where it ended up from 3072. High is 89. That's not that much. You know what I mean? I mean that's not even 20 pips off of there. You take out your spread. It's just tough. There's just not a lot of good action going on here. So anyway, that's one of them. Let me look here to just a second. I'll come back. We had a cool alert that I caught this week from ForexU Alerts. Hold on. Okay, here it is. It was on the 5th. And this is kind of funny because I had a friend stopped over and he's like, what do you do? Tell me, what is your job? And I said, well, look, here's what we look at, the grids. And so I did a buy there and I took 10 pips and did a little trade there just to show him. It was kind of funny. And that's what that is. And then here's a trade that Joe had set up for ForexU Alerts. So if you're not taking advantage of these alerts, you really need to. And this is it. It was sell 31.11, and I took profits at the next grid, tightened up my stop, and could have got deeper, whatever. But I'm like, hey, I'm going to hide behind this grid. If it comes back up, I'm shutting it down, and that's huge. 40, 50, 60. Well, that's basically 83, 100, 119 pips. That's fantastic. Let me show you what the alert was. There it is. So it was April 4th. It said euro current is 31.36, went down 3 straight in 4 of the last sessions. Non-farms on Friday, sell from 31.99 to hold. So that was a successful trade. And then Joe said sell 1.3111, take profit. Here he said 5 to 8 and maybe 10 to 40 pips. 3072 is the key number. Watch for a bounce. Okay, so I saw that and I just parked the trade, and it just touched, bounced a little bit, and bam, sure enough. So he called it. He's doing great. So I tell you, these ForexU alerts are powerful. You want to take advantage of them. So anyway, that's just a quick review, looking at the week, showing you a couple of trades that we took, and just some helpful analysis of looking at trend lines, look at horizontal, support, resistance, and timing. You got to be careful of the timing and make sure you're in at a point where the price has got room to move. Okay? All right, good luck. See you next week.